What's going on, guys? My name is Ilya Kosilov, also known as Ilya Koz, the Investor Cop, and today's lesson I want to cover is how do I get started? Somebody contacted me and said, "Hey, Ilya, I only have $2,000. How can I get started with that money? Is that a good amount of money to get started?" And the answer is absolutely. 2 grand can actually go a long, long way in this industry. And now let me break that down for you. Let me actually get into it. With $2,000, what I would do, what I have done when I was dead broke, trying to make money, try to get my first deal, is definitely start out with bandit signs. Bandit signs are the cheapest way to go from my experience, and it's a good investment because if you place them right, they'll last a long time. So number 1 is bandit signs. It depends on the size. Those bandit signs might be anywhere from like $1 each to like, I don't know, $1.80 or something like that. It depends on the size. Right? And you could handwrite them, you could print them out. Honestly, I always printed them out. I never sat there with my hand writing it. It looks like you're more personal, more local, but I always like to take the professional approach. That's just me. People have different beliefs about the signs, right? There's different results as well if it's handwritten. Now they even have where print and it looks like it's handwritten, but it isn't. It's printed. So bandit signs. So do the math. If they're only $1 each or $1.80, if you could get 2,000 bandit signs. Now that's huge. That's huge. It's a lot. And if you're the one who's starting, obviously you're the one who's gonna put them out. It's gonna take you some time to put them up, but I think just off this, you're gonna get a huge amount of return. The $2,000 investment, you're gonna pull a lot of deals for that, because that's a lot of exposure. That's a lot of signs, a lot of advertising. Usually, I put up 100, and I usually get 1 deal off of it to 2 deals right away, right within the first maybe like 2 weeks. Those signs get taken down, especially if you live in maybe like Texas or Arizona where you guys have to stick them down. When I lived in New York, we have those wooden poles, you could nail them in. So the ordinance people might drive around, but they're not gonna be able to take them off. And using a small step ladder, right? So it's kind of high up there, it's exposed, everyone can see it. That's always good. And it's hard to take them down, right? Because I've actually seen competitors rip my signs down. And that's not cool, right? There's enough food for everybody. Everyone can get deals, so there's no need to be greedy. If you got 2,000 signs, you're in good hands. You're definitely gonna be pulling deals. It's gonna take you longer because you're waiting for that return to come back, right? You're putting up ads, and now you're waiting for people to call. Oh, you're buying houses? I'm interested. I'm considering it, right? The next thing I would do is pull a list. Not just any list, because you only have $2,000. I would do the highest. I would probably stick to a specific zip code. I would do like 90 plus equity, right? And vacant. Actually, let's scratch that, right? Because if you're using list source, most of the time, they only actually say owner absentee. Vacant list is something else. If you're able to pull that, that's great. But owner absentee, and it has a lot of equity. That means it's a landlord who almost paid off the whole property. He's not living there. It might be rented. It might be vacant. And that's why I actually focus on zip code, because it targets less people. Because the less people you have, the less money you're gonna spend. So if you're working limited budget, once you have that list, step 3 is gonna be now you have to take all that information and they have to get it skip trace. Skip trace is find out the people's contact information, maybe their mailing addresses as well. So once you have their phone numbers, and then you have their address, you're gonna need their address because it's absentee, they don't live there. You have what it takes, right? This is a really good investment right here as well, because now you have their address, you could send mail, you could do handwritten mail, right? I used to do that. before I could afford to buy any services to provide. I would literally get a roll of stamps, handwriting, or maybe type out a template, copy it, and then sign, hey, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Hopefully we can do business, right? At least one portion of it. I started doing that eventually to try to speed it up instead of writing the whole message, because that would take a long time. The phone number. Now, with this phone number, you're gonna call them. If they don't pick up, you're gonna leave a voicemail. If they don't pick up, you're gonna send them a text, right? So you have call, voicemail, and you have text. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's 3 ways you're hitting him. Plus mailing, 4. So right here is actually a better bang for your buck, right? Because you invested in this list and now you have that forever. Let's say somebody rips out all those signs. Now you have no signs, no advertising. Right here, you still have that advertising. You still have that form of advertising, because you could always call them, you could always text them, leave them a voicemail, you can mail them, you could go knock on the door of where they live and say, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm a local real estate investor. I'm actually looking to buy properties in the area. Not sure if your property is up for sale, but I'm buying cash. Are you interested in selling? Are you interested in cash offer? Like that, right? So they both are good, but I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, right? If you bought 2,000, you guaranteed to get deals, but it's a high risk, right? Depends where you live. Some places they rip them down right away. Monday comes, they start ripping them down. You know, if you could allocate, I would probably not do to the whole 2,000. I'll probably do like 100 to 300 signs, and the rest of the funds, I would do that. So right here, you would only have $1,700 left. Now, if you have a small niche targeted list, you know, the list might cost you another like 600, and let's just say another like 600 for skip tracing, right? So you're only at 1,200, so you still have money left over. You'd probably be under your budget. So these are just rough estimates, right? Because depending on the skip tracing services, sometimes it's 30 cents a skip, sometimes it's 10, 15, depends on who you're using. So that's why it's at 17, just to be safe. These are rough calculations, but with $2,000, you're getting 100 to 300 bandit signs. You put them up in that zip code that you're gonna target, and now you hit it with all this, with a text, call, voicemail, door knocking, you can't go wrong. That's how you get started. Now, obviously, when you get started, you're gonna be nervous, you're not gonna know how to talk to people, you're not sure about the scripts, how to contact the people, what to say. Use the video of what I just said, right? But you have to be confident. When I started, I was nervous, I didn't know what I was doing, but I always seemed confident. Right? Silence is golden. If you don't know an answer, sometimes you have to just say, hey, look, I'm not 100% sure. I could run it by my partner, my manager, and we'll figure that out. But present yourself, right? Present yourself very confident, professional, and you're gonna close deals. If anybody got questions, feel free to shoot me a message. I'm here to help you guys out, and I wanna see you guys win.